You're scrolling. It's late. You see a post from an old friend, a creator you follow, maybe a complete stranger. Their life looks seamless. The caption talks about living your truth. The photo is a perfect moment of minimalist joy. And for a second, you feel a pang. It's a complex feeling, isn't it? It's part inspiration, part envy, part exhaustion. You close the app and sit with a question that echoes in the quiet of our hyper-connected world. In a life that demands we build a personal brand, curate a perfect image, and perform our success, how do we know what's real? How do we separate the genuinely good advice from the beautifully packaged poison? This is what I call the authenticity crisis. It's a uniquely millennial struggle, born from a digital world overflowing with self-proclaimed prophets. We're surrounded by an endless sea of wellness gurus, productivity hackers, crypto evangelists, and lifestyle influencers. They come to us with promises of a better life, a fitter body, a clearer mind, a richer bank account. They offer us a blueprint for happiness, and we are seekers. We actively search for meaning and purpose, for tools to navigate the very real pressures of modern life. The anxiety, the stress, the loneliness, the feeling of being adrift. We have a genuine appetite for content that offers depth and philosophical reflection. But this very openness makes us vulnerable. Because while we value authenticity above all else, and have a keen radar for anything that feels contrived, the messaging has gotten so sophisticated, so aesthetically pleasing, that it's harder than ever to tell the difference. We follow the advice, buy the course, adopt the mindset, and yet, we often end up feeling worse. We feel more anxious, not less. We feel the sting of comparison, the gnawing emptiness of impostor syndrome. We burn out trying to replicate a reality that was never real in the first place. We've been promised a vineyard, but we're finding ourselves tangled in thorn bushes. What if I told you there's a 2,000-year-old psychological framework designed for this exact problem? A tool for discernment, hidden in a text that many of us might have dismissed as outdated or irrelevant. In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus gives his followers a startlingly practical piece of advice. He says, "Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but underneath are ravenous wolves. By their fruits you will know them." Now, let's set aside any dogma or religious baggage. Let's look at this not as a theological decree, but as a profound piece of psychological wisdom. This isn't about judging people's souls. It's about evaluating the impact of ideas, leaders, and even our own belief systems on our mental and emotional health. It's a survival guide for the influencer age. To unlock this, we need to look through a specific lens. The lens of depth psychology, particularly the work of Carl Jung. Jung believed that ancient myths and sacred stories are maps of the human psyche. They give us a language for the deep, unconscious forces that shape our lives. Let's break down this ancient warning using three of Jung's most powerful concepts: the persona, the shadow, and the self. First, the sheep's clothing. In Jungian terms, this is the persona. The persona is the social mask we all wear. It's the version of ourselves we present to the world to be seen as acceptable, likable, and successful. It's your professional face at work, your witty persona with friends, and most definitely, your curated feed on social media. The persona isn't inherently bad. It's a necessary tool for navigating society. The danger comes from over-identifying with it, believing that the mask is the whole story. The false prophets of our age are masters of the persona. Their sheep's clothing is a flawless brand. The serene wellness guru who never seems to have a bad day. the hustle culture entrepreneur whose life is a montage of wins, the activist whose moral clarity is never clouded by doubt. Their persona is designed to be aspirational, to make you say, "I want that." But Jesus' warning points to what lies beneath: the ravenous wolf. In Jungian psychology, this is the shadow. The shadow is everything we repress and deny about ourselves. It's the parts of our personality we deem unacceptable: our fears, our insecurities, our envy, our greed, our vulnerabilities. The wolf isn't pure evil. It's simply the unacknowledged, unintegrated, and often hungry reality behind the mask. For the wellness influencer, the wolf might be a crushing eating disorder. For the hustle culture CEO, it might be crippling debt and exploited employees. For the online activist, it could be a profound personal hypocrisy. The wolf is the raw, messy, sometimes destructive truth that the perfect persona is built to hide. The more pristine and perfect the sheep's clothing, the more starved and ravenous the wolf underneath tends to be. This is why we feel that strange sense of unease. Our intuition senses the disconnect between the persona and the shadow. We are promised nourishment, but we sense a predator. So how do we protect ourselves? The text gives us the key. By their fruits you will know them. This is the most brilliant part of the framework. It moves us beyond judging appearances. It tells us to stop analyzing the sheep's clothing and start examining the results. The fruits are the tangible, real-world outcomes. They are the psychological and emotional impact that a person or an ideology has on you and their followers. Think about it. Does following this person make you feel more anxious about your own life? That's a bad fruit. Does their advice lead you to compare yourself relentlessly and find yourself wanting? Bad fruit. Does it make you feel more connected to your community, more at peace with your imperfections, more creatively alive? Those are good fruits. The text uses the analogies. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? It's so simple. If you want grapes, you go to a grapevine. If an influencer is promising you the grapes of inner peace, but their entire community feels like a thorn bush of competition and anxiety, you need to trust the fruit, not the sales pitch. Now here's the modern twist, the part that moves this from a tool for judging others to a profound instrument for self-reflection. We have to turn this lens on ourselves. Each of us crafts a persona. We all wear our own sheep's clothing. We project an identity to the world, on our LinkedIn, on our Instagram, even in our own friend groups. We highlight our wins, our good angles, our happy moments. We present the fruit we want people to see. But the real question is, what are the true fruits of the persona you are living? Does the pressure to maintain your sheep's clothing leave you feeling exhausted and disconnected? That's a bad fruit. Does your carefully constructed image prevent you from being vulnerable and asking for help when you need it? Bad fruit. Are you hiding a ravenous wolf of your own? An insecurity, a fear, a private struggle that is starving for acknowledgement? Confronting this is what Jung called shadow work. It's the courageous process of acknowledging the wolf within, of integrating those disowned parts of ourselves to become more whole. And this is where the final piece of the ancient puzzle comes in, the good tree. The text says, "Every good tree bears good fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit." What is a good tree? It isn't a perfect tree. It's not a tree that never has a broken branch or crooked limb. A good tree is simply an authentic tree. It is a tree that is fully and completely itself, rooted deep in the earth, drawing nourishment, and expressing its inherent nature. In Jungian terms, the good tree is a symbol for the self. The self is the archetype of wholeness, the regulating center of our psyche that encompasses both our conscious ego and our unconscious shadow. The ultimate goal of our psychological and spiritual journey, what Jung called individuation, is to become this good tree. It is the lifelong process of integrating all the parts of ourselves, the light and the dark, to become a unique, indivisible whole. An integrated person, someone centered in their true self, doesn't have to try to produce good fruit. They just do. Their actions naturally bear the fruit of compassion, authenticity, resilience, and genuine connection, because they are living from a place of wholeness. They have made peace with their own inner wolf, so it no longer runs ravenous and unseen. They are rooted. This is the ultimate upliftment offered by this ancient wisdom. The goal isn't to become a better sheep. It's not to find a flock with a flawless shepherd. The goal is to become a tree. So how do we use this tool right now, tonight? It's a simple 3-step process of observation. 1. Identify the source. Look at the person, the ideology, the influencer, or even the belief you hold about yourself. See the sheep's clothing, the persona they are presenting. 2. Examine the fruits. Look away from the persona and observe the results. How does engaging with this source make you feel? Not how you think you should feel, but how you actually feel in your body and your heart. Does it create anxiety or peace? Envy or inspiration? Division or connection? Be ruthlessly honest. The fruits don't lie. 3. Apply it to yourself. What are the fruits of your own persona? Does the life you project to others nourish you, or does it deplete you? What would it look like to be less of a curated image and more of a good tree? What part of your shadow, your inner wolf, needs to be met with compassion instead of shame? This ancient framework doesn't promise an easy life, free from struggle. In fact, it promises the opposite. It invites us into the difficult, courageous work of wrestling with reality, of integrating our opposites, and of seeking wholeness over perfection. This is the path to true resilience. It's the only way to find meaning that can withstand the storms of life. So the next time you are scrolling, the next time you feel that pang of inadequacy in the face of someone else's perfect persona, remember this. You have a choice. You can keep chasing the promise of grapes from a thorn bush, or you can turn your attention inward and begin the real, vital work of cultivating your own tree, of rooting yourself in the truth of who you are, shadow and all, and trusting that in doing so, you will bear the kind of good fruit that truly nourishes you, and in turn, the world. Thank you.